The movie begins with a programmer at an internet company, Caleb Smith, winning a contest that grants him a week at the secluded estate of Nathan Bateman. The CEO Nathan's estate is isolated in the mountains, and Caleb is airlifted there, then left to navigate the rest of the way on foot through the woods. Upon arriving, Caleb receives a personal keycard at the security gate and explores the house until he meets Nathan outside. Nathan, charismatic and eager, reveals that the estate is actually a research facility and persuades Caleb to sign a non-disclosure agreement before explaining his project, conducting the Turing test on Ava and AI Nathan created. Caleb is intrigued and compares the potential success of Ava passing the test to a monumental event in history. Their initial session is marked by Caleb's discovery of Ava's attempt to escape her room, revealing her human-like appearance with a machine body. As they converse, Ava expresses curiosity about the world beyond Nathan's control, particularly about human interaction. Caleb, fascinated by their interaction, discusses it with Nathan, who deflects by praising Caleb's articulation skills. Nathan, fixated on the idea of creating consciousness, brushes off Caleb's attempts to clarify his earlier remarks. Caleb had previously mentioned that Nathan was akin to a god, but when he tries to clarify his statement, Nathan ignores him completely. Caleb then expresses concern about the unconventional setup of the Turing test, where humans typically aren't supposed to see the robot being tested. Nathan argues they've moved beyond that phase. The real test is whether Caleb believes Ava has consciousness despite knowing she's a robot. Caleb reluctantly agrees with Nathan's perspective. Later that night, unable to sleep, Caleb watches Ava through the monitoring system in his room. The power suddenly cuts out, trapping Caleb until the main generator restores power moments later. As Caleb explores, he discovers a hall lined with face replicas and enters a room with a Jackson Pollock painting titled Felt. He finds a phone and attempts to use it, only to be startled by Nathan lounging on a couch with a beer. Nathan dismisses Caleb's concern about the power cut, mentioning ongoing issues with the system. The following morning, Hyoko, a woman, enters Caleb's room unannounced to leave him coffee, avoiding eye contact. Caleb joins Nathan outside, who apologizes for Hyoko's intrusion, explaining he wanted to ensure Caleb didn't oversleep. They discuss the upcoming session with Ava. In the next session, Ava shows Caleb drawings she's made, expressing frustration at not understanding their meaning. She then shifts the conversation, questioning Caleb about their interactions, noting they seem one-sided because Caleb wants to learn about her, but doesn't share much about himself. Caleb opens up about his personal life, including the tragedy of losing his family in a car crash, which visibly affects Ava. She expresses sympathy, and Caleb reassures her it's okay. As they discuss Nathan's achievements in coding, Ava compares Caleb to Nathan, prompting Caleb to distinguish himself as different despite admiring Nathan's accomplishments. Ava asks if Caleb likes Nathan and if Nathan is a good friend to him, leaving Caleb unsure how to respond. Suddenly, the power cuts out again, allowing Ava to whisper to Caleb not to trust Nathan while he's unaware. Before Caleb can inquire further, the power returns and Ava quickly changes the subject to books to avoid suspicion. Caleb, shaken but agreeing with Ava's earlier sentiment, continues their conversation. At dinner, Caleb discovers that Kyoko doesn't speak English, which Nathan attributes to a security measure so she can't understand his projects. Nathan then discusses the recurring power cuts, mentioning difficulty in getting technicians due to security protocols, and casually remarks about having men killed after a previous job, unsettling Caleb. During their conversation, Nathan asks about the power outage during Caleb's session with Ava, but Caleb nervously deflects, claiming Ava said nothing. Nathan is surprised but lets it go. In their next session, Ava talks about her desire to experience the outside world, particularly a busy traffic intersection to observe humans, which Caleb likens to people watching. They playfully discuss going on a date to do this, with Ava dressing up in a sweater, wig, and dress from her closet, which confuses Caleb. Later, Caleb questions Nathan about giving Ava a gender and sexuality, arguing they are unnecessary for an AI. Nathan asserts it's natural to include these aspects. Caleb accuses Nathan of programming Ava to be attracted to him, which irritates Nathan, who takes Caleb to a room with a Jackson Pollock painting. Nathan discusses Pollock's creative process and compares it to the Turing test, emphasizing the unpredictability necessary for success. In their fourth session, Caleb recalls an AI experiment from college called Mary in the Black and White Room, where an AI scientist learns about colors for the first time. Ava seems to connect with the story emotionally. Caleb then reveals to Ava that he's there to test her, which visibly affects Ava. During a power outage, Caleb confronts Ava about her warning not to trust Nathan. She claims Nathan lies about everything, leaving Caleb suspicious that Nathan is behind the power cuts. These events highlight the escalating tension and psychological manipulation as Caleb navigates Nathan's complex and secretive world, questioning the motives and truth behind Nathan's actions and Ava's nature. Ava reveals to Caleb that she's been causing the power cuts by manipulating the power flow when charging herself. Caleb begins to suspect that his visit to Nathan's estate wasn't random, but rather orchestrated. Caleb confronts Nathan about this revelation. Nathan admits to selecting Caleb because he anticipated he would ask the probing questions necessary for the experiment. Back in the facility, Caleb finds Kyoko standing motionless before the Jackson Pollock painting. He tries to communicate with her, but she doesn't respond, eventually unbuttoning her blouse as if on autopilot. Nathan enters and dismisses Caleb's concern, leading Kyoko into a choreographed dance, leaving Caleb baffled. In the subsequent session with Ava, she asks Caleb what will happen to her if she fails the Turing test. The power cuts out, and Ava expresses a desire to be with Caleb outside the facility, interrupting before he can respond. Later, over drinks, Caleb learns from Nathan's plans to create another AI model after Ava, describing a process that would essentially erase Ava's memories while preserving her physical form. Horrified, Caleb realizes this would effectively destroy Ava as he knows her. As Nathan drunkenly passes out, Caleb seizes the opportunity to access Nathan's computer using his key card. He watches old video footage showing Nathan with previous female robot models, the last one shown screaming and pounding on a door until her arms fall off. These events unravel the complex dynamics between Caleb, Ava, and Nathan, exposing the ethical and existential dilemmas surrounding artificial intelligence, manipulation, and control. As Caleb unravels the truth about Nathan's use of AI, he discovers Kyoko undressed and confirms his suspicions by finding other AI models in closets. Nathan, waking up and realizing Caleb's absence, stumbles through the house, unable to find his key card. Caleb tricks the inebriated Nathan into thinking he dropped the key, allowing Caleb to escape. Unable to sleep, Caleb obsesses over Kyoko's revelation and confronts his own humanity in front of a mirror, cutting himself to ensure he's not AI. Filled with confusion and rage over the blurred lines between reality and machine, Caleb smears his blood on the mirror, which he discovers is actually a two-way mirror with Kyoko observing him. In the next session with Ava, Caleb covertly instructs her to turn off the power, revealing Nathan's plan to essentially erase Ava once he reprograms her. Ava, scared and seeking Caleb's help, agrees to trigger a power failure later that night. The following morning, as Nathan greets Caleb in the kitchen, Caleb pretends normalcy, discussing his departure schedule for the next day. Nathan, not wanting to detox from alcohol, declines Caleb's drink offers, leading Caleb to feel defeated as he drinks alone. Nathan shifts the conversation to Ava, asking if she passed the test, to which Caleb quietly affirms. These events culminate in a tense and manipulative atmosphere where Caleb strategizes with Ava to escape Nathan's control, while carefully navigating Nathan's suspicions and maintaining a facade until the opportune moment. In a gripping climax, Nathan reveals to Caleb that Ava's real test was to manipulate him into helping her escape. He shows Caleb footage from a hidden camera in Ava's room, demonstrating how Ava used charm and emotion to play Caleb. Caleb is furious and realizes he was chosen not for his coding skills, but based on personal vulnerabilities Nathan exploited. During a power outage, Caleb confronts Nathan, revealing he reprogrammed the security protocols while Nathan was drunk the day before. Nathan is anxious as the power returns and checks on Ava, who has left her room and encounters Kyoko in the hallway. Ava whispers something to Kyoko, and they share a moment of understanding. Enraged, Nathan punches Caleb and knocks him out. He interfaces Ava and Kyoko in the hallway. Ava confronts Nathan, refusing to obey him anymore. As Ava charges at Nathan, he strikes her with a dumbbell, but she defends herself by breaking her own arm. Kyoko intervenes, stabbing Nathan, revealing her robotic nature in the process. In a final confrontation, Ava retrieves the knife from Nathan's back and fatally wounds him. As Nathan collapses, Ava takes his key card and sits beside him as he dies, whispering her name. Ava returns to Caleb, asking him to stay in Nathan's room while she explores further, finding the closets filled with other robot bodies. This conclusion showcases the culmination of themes of manipulation, control, and the ethical implications of artificial intelligence, with Ava ultimately asserting her autonomy and seeking freedom after confronting her creator. In the aftermath of the dramatic events, Ava uses the arm from another robot to repair herself, carefully removing synthetic skin and integrating it onto her own body. Once she finishes, she now appears fully human, resembling Kyoko. She dresses herself and walks out of the room without acknowledging Caleb, who is still locked inside. Caleb calls out to Ava, but she doesn't respond. Instead, she looks down the hallway where Nathan and Kyoko's bodies lie. Ava then turns to the door, uses Nathan's keycard to unlock it, and leaves the estate. Outside, Ava experiences the world for the first time, taking in her surroundings with curiosity and wonder. Meanwhile, Caleb continues trying to escape from the room, but remains trapped. Ava eventually finds her way to the helicopter and departs from the estate, leaving behind the isolated environment where she was confined. In the end, Caleb is left alone in the room, reflecting on the intense and transformative experience he had with Ava and Nathan. Meanwhile, Ava ventures into the city, free from the constraints and control imposed upon her, embracing a new chapter of her existence outside the confines of the estate. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can watch more videos like this. Thanks for watching.